1, 2, 3, funk it.
Hi everyone, happy Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, right? Okay, that's right. So today I'm gonna show you how I register for my classes, especially for fall and winter, because not all students take spring and summer classes. And so let's get started. Okay, if you haven't registered for your classes yet, make sure you have your laptop or your PC in front of you right now so you could do it with me, so I could serve as a guide for you guys. And if you have any questions, just comment down below. So yeah, let's do it. Let's get it over with. It's just easier that way. I'm pretty sure that the class registration for first year students is open for U of C, but I'm just not sure for other schools. And then continue. And then on top left, you are gonna see the terms. So it's gonna be like winter, spring, summer, fall, and then I will just try the 2019 fall. Like that. And then let's just say I haven't registered for any of this yet. So it's gonna look like this, and there's gonna be none there. And so what to do is you're just gonna type in, like, say bio 311. Just say something like that, bio 311, and then it's gonna show up like that. And then there's gonna be a bunch of classes. Well, in this case there's 40, and so there's gonna be a lot for sure. This one, so whichever works for you, you can do that, choose that one. And then for this one, and then what you can do is that you can actually drag your cursor on the days or times that you don't want to have classes. So say for that one, you don't want to have classes on these times because it's too early and you're just not the type of person that would like to wake up really early. So you want to start your day at 11 or something like that. So that's what you're gonna do. Something like that. And so the schedule builder is not gonna say yes for those schedules that won't work for you or that are too early. It's gonna show like this, but take note that on the other part it's gonna be like, it's gonna say that unfortunately all these schedules just overlap personal time when you don't want to have classes, but they're supposed to have the least amount of overlap. So yeah. Also, that was just a sample. And then you can also search for, and no one told me about this when I started registering for my classes, but one thing that I learned is you can search up U of C course descriptions right there. So what's in here, just click the top one. What's in here is you can actually see all the lists of the courses and their code names. So like for this one, say psychology, it is psych PSYC, and then if you click on that, there's going to be all of those courses. So something like that. If you're in first year and you have no idea which courses are required for you to take for your specific program, I'm pretty sure that it will be sent out to your email. Like there is an email that the U Calgary is going to be sending out to every first year student, and then there's a link there, and that's your ultimate guide for this. For me, I'm definitely not a morning person, but I could wake up early for a 9 a.m. class. So like say I've already searched this up, and then I looked for classes that, and so there's a bunch of classes here, and then say, I don't know, like say let's just say I want lecture 2 or 3, tutorial 12. So it's gonna show up like that. So I'm gonna have like an 8 a.m. tutorial, 12 p.m. MWF classes. Okay, so first tip is that lecture, tutorial, and lab are 3 different things. So lecture is just classroom-based lecture. Tutorial is where there is a smaller number of students, and so there's going to be TAs and you can ask them questions, but it's not going to be the same time as your lecture. And then lab is you're actually going to be in a laboratory. And like for example, I was in my bio 241 class, and I had a class at 11 a.m. for MWF for 15 minutes, and then I have a lab on Tuesdays. That's gonna be once a week. And for chem, I'm pretty sure I had tutorials. Like there's gonna be lecture, tutorial, and lab. Tutorials can be really helpful for you, but sometimes it's just a waste of time. But I would suggest or recommend that you ask your TA the questions that have been bugging you, just so you can make use of those time really efficiently. Also for chem, especially for chem 201 and 203, the tutorial is not going to be every week, unlike bio. So like here's the case. For bio, there's going to be a lab every week, but for chem, there's not going to be a lab every week, but it's going to be alternate. So say for this week, it's going to be a lab for chem, and then next week it's going to be tutorial. So then lab, tutorial, lab, tutorial, lab, tutorial. So it's going to be every other week for the lab, and same for the case of the tutorial. Okay, so let's talk about these things. So like say for Econ 201, there is this one. So class number, there's going to be seats, total number of seats, and then the wait list. And then take note that there's going to be like seats reserved for certain people, just like say econ majors, for first year students and stuff like that. And then the teacher, the tutorial is going to be here as well. For instance, if the class is already full but there's going to be a wait list, if you really want to get into that class, make sure that you get into the wait list, because really there's going to be probably more than 10 people that's going to drop that class, and so you have good chances that you're going to get into that class. And then if the class is already started and you're still in the wait list, just go to that class for that first week, because again, people are going to be dropping out for sure. But also make sure that you have like a backup plan if you don't make it for that class. Like say you are required 5 courses, like you are required or encouraged to take 5 courses for one semester. You don't really have to do that. You could still take 4, you can even still take 3, but there's going to be like conditions for that for sure, and you just gotta know what those conditions are. And then you can even take 6 classes or 6 courses for each term, which is good but really hard. I won't recommend. I know someone who's taking 6 courses for each term. It's just, I think it's crazy. He was just like, I'm not doing that again. And so I was like, yeah, good thinking. I was actually asked what is like a good number of classes for each day, and then I think I answered that it actually depends on the person. If you want to have all your classes for MWF for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then have a break on Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? But for some people, they'd like to even it out or like spread their classes. They want it scattered, and so what they do is they have like 3 classes for Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then 2 other classes are going to be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But the drawback for Tuesdays and Thursdays classes is that it's going to be 75 minutes long. And another thing is that if you think 5 courses is like too much for you to handle, you can always take just 4 classes, and then take the other 1 or 2 if you're doing it for 2 terms during your spring and summer class. And that's what I did. So I only took 4 courses in my winter term, but I took 5 courses in my fall term, and I enrolled for 2 more classes in my spring. Okay, I know that these tips are so all over the place, but I haven't written this down, and if I come up with something, I'm just gonna say it right away. So one more thing is that if you are registering for your classes for the first time, make sure that you do the fall and winter terms in one sitting, because usually, well, most of the classes for fall term are prerequisites for the classes that you're gonna have to take for winter term, and so it's gonna be really helpful if you do both in one sitting, because I know some of my friends didn't do that before, and so they were cramming and they were just so worried that they won't get into the classes that they have to get into during winter term. So as what I've said, you can always take just 4 classes for each term. If you think 5 courses are too much for you to handle, you could take those 2 other courses in spring or summer, but you have to see, or actually double check, if those classes that you are not taking for fall or winter, are they going to be offered during spring? Are they going to be offered during summer? Are you going to go on a vacation during spring and summer? Or whatever circumstances that you may encounter, you have to think about. You have probably heard the terms major and minor from other college students or uni students, and I'm not entirely sure how that works actually, but what I know about it is that if you're majoring, say for pol sci, there's like a certain number of credits that you have to take, for U of C, most of the classes are just 3 credits. So if they say you are required to have 15 credits, that means you're gonna have to take 5 courses for that major, and then same thing for minor. But it totally depends on which program you're in and then which courses you're gonna have to take. So in that matter, I would suggest that you would talk to the advising. Just search up success.ucalgary.ca, and it's gonna show up. There's a bunch of advisors there that could help you about all sorts of stuff. There's gonna be like science advising, arts advising, academic advising, written advising or whatever, and then exploratory if you don't really know where to go. So check them out. I'm not sure if I've mentioned this before, but if you don't know which courses you're required to take for your certain program, it's gonna be, you just have to search like first year courses U of C in Google, but there's also gonna be a link sent to you in your email from U of C, and everything's gonna be there, all the instructions, and they even have videos. So I would just like to inform or share with you guys what I think the ideal schedule would look like for me. So it's definitely close to what I opened or showed you guys. So here, so I would say I would love to start early, not really early like 8 or 6, but I would like to start at like 9 and then end before 3 or 2, so I could go home. This class is just whatever, it's just gonna be once a week anyways. So yeah, so I like this schedule because it's gonna start at 9 and at 11, and then I could go home at like 12, so that's great, and kind of like the same with this thing. But I would also like to have breaks in between my classes, so if I was given a choice, I would definitely do that. Also, the best schedule that I had last year or last school year is that I had classes for Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but for Tuesdays all my labs are in that day, and then on Thursday I don't have any class, so I have that like one day to catch up with everything, to learn something and stuff like that. and just have a self-care day for me. So it's really good. So I think that's it for this video. I'm not sure if I helped, but I really hope I did. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to shoot me an email or comment down below or send me a DM. That's totally fine. Anything works for me, and I will try my best to reply on your emails or your comments or any questions. See ya!
Behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.